Way to speak during the intro, Liv. We have a special guest today.
I have to cut it out anyways. Don't even start with me. I can't hear myself at all.
Well, I can hear you.
Why is it being an asshole now?
She got new headphones, so it's an issue.
You're an issue.
But we are making out on our microphone again because we have a special guest. Her name is Tall Emily.
Hey.
Tall Emily is a tarot goddess. She has her own tarot business. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I can talk about it. So I do tarot readings. I sometimes have pick a cards on YouTube when I'm feeling consistent. Sometimes I'll also put those on TikTok, and I need to use that more. But then I also do private tarot coaching. I have a program where I combine tarot and money, and I run that a couple times a year. But my main thing is my tarot readings and spiritual guidance through those.
Also, hi everyone. It's Em and Liv, and we're your Meta Psyckicks. Because Em forgot. She's bad at intros.
Well, you were busy finagling with your headphones, so.
And also dreaming of eating McDonald's. I'm fucking starving.
Oh, for sure.
I'm really excited too.
Excellent.
I normally do the outros and Liv does the intros, but she was distracted.
Is it raining outside?
You're raining outside. That's where I'm at right now. I'm sorry. I can't stop. I need food and coffee.
Yeah, when she gets sassy, you can tell because she always does the, I know you are, but what am I? Comebacks.
I turn into a giant 4-year-old that just has tantrums.
It doesn't have any good jokes. It is just, I know you are, but what am I?
Don't ever say I don't have good jokes.
Oh, no, you have good jokes, but not when you're hungry.
That's true.
That is true.
So Tall Em is here, and she's great. She gave me a reading today, blew my mind, told me that I need to stop being a little bitch, literally.
I did.
It was an awesome time, and we're going to talk about it.
She wants me to talk.
Taco about it. Taco.
But I don't know what we're talking about.
What? We did the reading. We did a reading on our YouTube channel, too. So there's 2 videos that you guys can watch. One on our Meta Psyckicks channel, and one on Tall Em's channel. What is it called?
Just Emily Garrett.
Boom.
Yep.
Emily Garrett. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Blow up her channel, please. All 198 of you that listen to our podcast.
That have downloaded the podcast is probably not that many people.
Are we able to look on our podcast thing to see who the people are, like where they are in the world?
I would assume so.
Oh, God. I'm so excited.
That's a lot of power.
Yeah, it is.
That's a little scary.
I'm excited. I'm going to call every single one of you out, except for you, Dad. I know you're listening. But you're going to be listening to this a year from now because you were listening to our Zodiac podcast when I came home from work the other day eating Cheetos. And that one we did, it was like our second podcast.
So let's first talk about our video that we did where we did psychic medium against tarot readings. So Tall Emily, she read herself with her tarot cards, and then Liv came in and essentially read her family, like the people that have passed on, to kind of get the same information, and the results were interesting. It was a slow start, but eventually we got someone that wanted to talk about the things that were happening in the cards. Also, I made her talk about her spirit guides' thoughts on the cards as well.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I get nervous, so it was real slow to begin. But was I actually close to your cards? We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. It was pretty close.
You kind of started talking about it, but it was like a lack of clarity was what the cards said. The lack of clarity is preventing her business from growing and is kind of blocking her in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because then your spirit guides came in and they were real sassy. Because you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? What is this lack of clarity? And it's like, it's because you were looking, but with your eyes closed. But everything is in front of you.
Yeah.
That's
where we got it.
Out.
Yeah, her one spirit guide is real sassy. He's like, excuse me, sir and madam, I am very smart. Here's my castle full of knowledge. And also, stop looking for things with your eyes closed.
So do you want to kind of go into your similarities between your reading and the reading you got from Liv?
Yeah, I can definitely go into it. So my reading started off talking about lack of clarity, which obviously tracks, and this like need to take more action that I wasn't doing, and like holding on too tightly, like worried about things not working out, or a lot of like lack-based mentality, worrying about money, and yeah, just things being like pretty murky and stuff, which then my spirit guides, honestly, they were kind of vague with that clarity, I thought, in the beginning. So that totally tracked.
It's a very spirit guide way of saying things.
They never answer an actual, just straightforward things, ever.
They give you guidance so that you can solve the problem yourself because it's more rewarding.
Yeah.
I don't want guidance. I want you to tell me what to do.
Right.
And I know that's not how it works, but
You won't learn anything. It won't be fulfilling to you if they tell you.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes having it handed to you is really nice, because then you're like, oh,
The answers at the end of the book.
now I know what to do. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's tarot, but also because it's an interpretation, you can also interpret it as something else.
Yeah. You can always go a bunch of ways with it.
Which actually happened during my reading. So she gave me a reading on her channel where I have been, essentially from the start of her channel, I have been getting this decision that I'm going to have to make. And the decision, I just like could not figure out what it was about. Because at first I thought it was the decision to start this business with Liv. But I'm thinking it's more like relationship based, and I'm just not seeing it because I don't want to see it. So every time I read cards for myself, I think that they're telling me about my business, but in actuality, they're telling me other things. So in that reading, Tall Emily was telling me the same thing, but relating to something else.
Yeah, we got a little deeper into the truth of that, so...
Yeah, so it's super
Cards
interesting.
wanna talk.
And she talks about tarot cards like they have personalities, and I think it's really interesting. So do you want to explain like your cards and how the energy flows through them and how they work energy-wise for you?
yeah, the 3 decks you have.
Yeah, so my first deck that I got, it's very like medieval looking, but it can be very confusing or it can be very spiritual and very deep. So sometimes that deck can be like real confusing, or sometimes it's just like really intense. And then I have my Mystic Mondays, which I use all the time. That one's super sassy. It's like my personality in a deck, and sometimes it's just calling you out, and sometimes not what you want to hear.
And that's the feminine deck, right?
Yeah, it's very feminine. And then my more masculine deck is Synesthesia Tarot. And that one has this like really strong energy with it, but really good. Like it feels really good to use that one. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but for the most part, it really digs into the truth. So yeah, those are the personalities of my decks. And then
do you use them for certain things?
yeah, at times. Yeah. So sometimes like the first one, this real spiritual one, I won't use that for anything unless it's like about spiritual concepts, powers, yourself.
Is that what was guiding you to pick a certain deck, or something else was telling you?
I get like a pull from the deck in my body, and just like the sense to pick it up, like this kind of like I need to hold it, and it pulls me in.
I feel like you are I've been asking you questions about your gifts, and I feel like you are very empathetic, which is like clairsentient type things. You feel things. So when she was reading Liv, she was feeling the energy within Liv. So that is like a physical feeling that you have within your body.
Yeah.
Where I'm clairaudience, so I get it in my ears.
Yeah, I have clairvoyance, so I'll see pictures sometimes. Clairsentience, that's been the one that's been predominant my whole life. Of
Yeah,
like,
that's your strongest
yeah,
one.
feeling the energies. I can feel them. I can feel the energy of a room, people, things, all kinds of stuff. I'll have a little bit of clairaudience, like I was channeling some words and stuff. I think there's one more, but I can't remember the name of it.
Well, what happens for you? I can tell you. How does information come in for you?
I don't know. I really feel it like with the energy, and sometimes I'll hear
claircognizance.
Yeah, claircognizance.
Clear thought.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I get claircognizance and clairaudience.
Yes.
Liv gets all of them because she's just like a comedian.
Hey. Ooh, so you have taste and smell too.
I get taste and smell more so with animals than I do people.
Okay.
Like we went to Janelle's house. If you know who Janelle is,
Yeah,
and
I
her
know
dog was like, I really like the way that your shoes smell. And she was giving me the exact smells of what they should be based on where we were the last like 2 days.
Oh my god.
It was
That's
pretty
cool.
funny. And then what else have I gotten for smells? Yesterday I was talking to a cat and her owner wanted to know if the cat didn't like an incense that they were burning. And you would think that I would get a smell for that, but actually the cat showed me the word dragon.
Interesting.
And it was dragon incense.
Oh.
So
Wow. That's cool.
I don't know. It's wild the way that they give me weird things that I know or that have happened to me, because I bought dragon incense once in my entire life, and they were at Walmart, and I remember reading the package and it said dragon incense, and that's what the cat showed me was going to Walmart looking at dragon incense.
Wow. That's funny.
Yeah. But again, I don't think that's necessarily the cat. It's just like my psychicness and from wherever I get my information that uses my ability of past, present, and future and things that have happened to me to communicate information.
Yeah.
But
That's cool. That makes sense.
well, it's awesome just meeting you though too, because you have clairsentience and it's
Yes.
great because you talk to your decks like they
Yeah.
are people.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when you sat down to give me my reading, and I love getting readings from other people, and it's great to be here.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this deck and the deck that you were talking about where it's all about abilities and like understanding things, I was like,
Yeah.
you need to do this one first because it's going to show you the whole perspective of what you're dealing with me.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are the ones that are going to help answer certain questions about what that deck showed you. And that's exactly what happened. And you're like, this crick is crazy. She has so much energy. And I was trying to like tone it down a little bit for you too.
I could feel all of it.
Yeah.
All the energy. And then it was moving into my arms, which was really cool. But yeah, when it was like stuck in a ball in my chest, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I need to go run around.
Every day. It's great. So you're definitely sensitive, intuitive, psychic.
Will you explain what
Yeah.
you get when she reads cards? Like what it appears?
Okay, so the last time we did anything, it was with Julie. So Julie does Ogham, and Ogham is a Celtic divination tool. She does rune casting, so she has these cute little acorns that have Ogham language or runes. They're like hieroglyphs inscribed on the acorns, and acorns are excited or acorns are important to the Celtic
The trees are important in the Celtic, what is it, religion?
pagan.
Oh, pagan religion.
Yeah. So she does casting, and Julie and I have been friends for a while, but I haven't gotten to talk to her for a while because she lives in New Jersey. So my energy isn't necessarily focused on her or around her. But when she started doing the readings, she has like this huge mass of people behind her that are somehow like clouded in a bit of like a gray mist. And I think that's her own inhibition towards them, even though I feel like she listens to the information from these people behind her, or these people help her. So I think it's interesting that when Tall M is doing readings, she has like a air of energy around her that is not only her own metaphysical and spiritual energy, but also the spiritual and metaphysical energy around the people that she's reading. And it kind of mixes with her own, and that's how she gets information. So it's not necessarily like people like Julie, but energy in its of itself when Tall M is reading. And then last night we did a TikTok live with Small M, who is
It was me.
yeah. And it's the first time I've kind of focused on it, and we were tag team reading almost, where she would pull cards or
Well, it hasn't started happening. Like, it just started happening like last week.
yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you wouldn't have seen it because you haven't seen me until
That's true. But it's almost like her information was coming in waves behind her, also in the same energy format as Tall M. So not spirits telling her things or sharing information, but energy in and of itself, which I assume would be a 100% psychic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I get information in waves, exactly the way that Liv says. But it's like I'll be looking at something and I'm like, I don't understand. And then all of a sudden something clicks, but it's like not something that I was thinking about, if that makes sense, which is why it's like disembodied, like out of body experience type deal.
You're a lizard, Harry.
You're a lizard, Harry.
What else are we talking about? We were talking about how the cards speak too. Yeah?
I guess. What are you saying?
I don't know. We were talking about how the cards speak, and then you were like, oh, the cards speak, but now we have to talk about how the people you guys read, how you guys get information, and that's just my third perception of it, I guess.
I got you. I was talking about how you use different decks for different things.
Yeah.
So, which deck do you like? I think you've already explained this, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The not Celtic, medieval deck, Knight, Sword, Armor one is the one that gives you like the general layout, and then the other two answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
But they both have different vibes. One of them has like a very feminine, high-strung energy, and then the other one has more of a mellow, grounding male presence to it, which I like because it's funny.
It is. That one can be funny. It can be very comical.
I don't know what else to say.
What else about my reading was parallel to you guys? Or to yours? Because I wasn't in the room. They pulled tarot cards while I sat out on Tall M's sweet terrace and like bebopped in the sunshine for 20 minutes or something.
While she was alone.
What else came up?
You didn't get any spirit stuff, just past, present, future, present things.
Yeah. Just kind of like, I don't know, I guess it was stuff I already knew, but...
And then you asked me, and your spirit guides told you the same things they told you in your cards. They're like, we're just going to have this human say it instead of your cards.
Right. It was basically like repeated.
Well, that was what the name of the game was. You were going to tell her what the cards say. And the spirit guides basically told you, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously they aren't going to give you the answer because...
Right, because they're spirit guides.
But it's interesting because a relative came in. I think he was a relative who was saying that instead of doing this thing that you're doing now, which is your business, you should have a stable income, like a full-time gig somewhere else, like in corporate. And your spirit guides were saying, don't do that because you're going to hate it and you're probably going to quit again. So,
oh, yeah.
That was funny.
Tall M's grandpa came in and we were talking with him. He was really cool. He likes to make banana bread for all of you banana bread lovers. And then he came in and she asked, like, basically, is he okay? What does he think of me? And obviously he's proud of you and loves you and he's excited that you're doing tarot. But he's like, honestly, I think you need to have like more stability in your life. And she's like, that's exactly what he thought. Like everyone in my family would think too. But then her spirit guides came in and were like, nah, brah, you need to just do your own thing. And if you do get a job, they showed me like her by the summertime. Like it would be easy for you to find a job, but by summertime or the end of like August, October, you'd be walking through the parking lot like done. Just bye.
Yeah, which is basically how I quit the first time. So yeah, we're not doing that again.
Her spirit guides are pretty cool. She has one main dude. As far as I know, you've never like gotten pinpoint information on them, but they're definitely there. The first one is male. He's older. She has 3 spirit guides. One male who kind of runs the show, a more quiet female who's also as equally intelligent and studious, and then kind of the way I described him was like the page, because we were doing tarot cards and that's something relatable.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like learning from the other spirit guides on how to like be a guide, kind of. And this is the first time I've had all spirit guides be people too, like human spirit people.
Interesting.
And I believe they're from like medieval times, which would make sense because that's when tarot kind of was around, and you do cards, not OM.
Didn't you say they weren't medieval? They're just in a medieval era.
Yes, they did.
Because the one was like, we're not medieval.
Yes, but it's interesting because they are like in a library setting, but in a castle. And the main spirit guide has like little tiny circle glasses, which would be like when glasses were invented and what they would look like spectacles almost. And he gives Tall M language. So when she was shouting things out or when she gets specific words or phrases, that's from her spirit guide telling her to tell her client in a reading certain things that will resonate with them.
And you hear it, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear it. Like there was one part of the reading that did not make the camera that my guide was very loud, calling everybody out.
So how does it come through? It's through your voice, or is it someone else's voice?
I guess it's kind of similar to my voice in my head, but sometimes it'll have like a slightly different tone or just kind of like like humanless. I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes it's just words that I see.
So it's words you're not thinking of in the moment.
Yeah. Because I try to clear my mind when I pull cards, so that way I'm not biased at all.
Right. I had another question, but I don't know what it is.
That's okay. The female spirit guide's really cool. She helps you with colors because I feel like sometimes you see colors, and we talked about that.
Yeah.
And then the page.
What do the colors mean to you?
Yeah, so my one deck, synesthesia, that means that I associate numbers and letters with colors. So all of the, like, different words can have different colors and different things like that. And, like, energy can have different colors. Like, I can't see auras, but I can kind of, like, feel that, and the colors kind of, like, trigger.
You can see auras.
No, I can't see
No!
auras. I wish I
think
could.
you can.
I wish I could.
think you can't, and that's why you can't see them.
Probably. It's probably some limiting belief.
It's okay. Auras are subjective too. That's how we got big on TikTok.
General is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the TikTok aura filter, or like reality ripple is what it's called.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, it's just on a loop. It's just on
They're
a loop.
still saying that.
Oh yeah. And
It's not on a loop.
We have like hundreds of comments saying, it's on a loop, it's on a loop, it's on a loop. And I'm like, why do you feel the need to tell us? There's so many people that have already told us that.
Yeah. Whether it's true or not, we do assume and know that it is a filter. But
my
also,
God.
auras always change. And people are like, and then the other people in the comments that aren't necessarily negative, but they're positive about it, they're like, well,
Wait.
what do the colors mean?
Well, yeah, but there's one that we got today where the guy was like, even if it's on a loop, the fact that she could do that in that order, like, I don't know, just like out of the blue.
Oh,
is
somebody
crazy.
backed me up because I told you what
Yeah, no.
colors they should be and
they're
what
like-
to feel.
We think the spirit was manipulating that so that it would fit.
Oh, I'm so glad that they're like having
Someone said
conversations
that.
about it.
That's awesome.
And I think it's crazy because that's what I think happened, because we just did it literally in 10 minutes because we're like, we need to go to work. And she's like, okay, you're feeling this now, because she was looking at me and not at the screen, and it happened on the screen.
Yeah, I couldn't be in the same plane, like screen existence as M because, again, we were in her kitchen on her phone, and it's the first time we used the reality thing. But again, I was also telling you, like, what I perceive the colors are. So, like, anxiety for me is orange, and pink for me is love and protection. So when I said, if you let your anxiety take over, it should be orange, and it was. And then I said, now feel love, and you struggled with it because it's hard to change your energy frequencies that quickly. And you did a really good job, and it did turn to pink. So, I mean, whatever. Whether spirit was manipulating it, the filter actually works, the filter doesn't work. It's just the fact that some people are like, well, what do the aura colors mean? I'm not going to give you a definitive answer of what the aura colors mean because I think it's subjective and not everybody sees and perceives color in the same way. So whatever you want it to mean, my dude.
Yep. We bicker about color a lot.
All the
channel.
time.
I see colors that aren't on the human spectrum for letters and numbers too.
What do you mean?
7 doesn't look like a normal color.
What is a normal color?
Like,
I'm going to literally force you to describe a color to me.
I'm gonna do my best, but it shifts. Some of
I
them
would
move.
say 7 is green.
It's
But can it also be like blue or brown?
You mean like pH?
to me it's black.
Because a 7
But-
isn't 7 a neutral pH?
Yes.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that's green.
Technically it's green, but in
You're
my
welcome.
brain says it's black, but it kind of looks like a crow, how it changes into blue and green iridescent underneath. 7 does that, but it ripples.
Weird.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Why 7?
I don't know.
Okay.
8 doesn't look like a normal color either.
What color is 3?
3 is green.
I think it's red.
Interesting.
Synesthesia.
It's wild. It's cool
I don't
stuff.
think of numbers as colors, so there's that.
I saw something on TikTok and it was about like what the signs are for colors, and I resonated with all of the colors that this girl thought the colors for the zodiac signs were too, except for Virgo. She thought Virgo was blue, but I think Virgo can be purple or green. But I also think Pisces should be blue or green too. So green always kind of like filters into things.
You think green is like money energy?
I think green isn't. I think what people say green is money energy. But for me, I think green can be, I don't know. I see green in Bradley a lot. And I think it's more like internal turmoil associated with material things that should be things that aren't material. So people say, oh, green is Mother Earth and green is the environment. But also I think it's the conflict between having things that are not necessarily materialistic versus natural. And it's that conflict between materialistic or natural that people have issues with. And then they also say, oh, it's envy. And I'm like, I think envy is also just confusion too.
Yeah.
It deals with material objects. Is envy.
So that would be my dissertation on the color green.
So what about the last spirit guide, the page guide?
He's the one that's learning from the other guides, and he's kind of been commissioned to help you too, because you both are learning.
Yeah.
So I said that the main spirit guide does language, the woman helps with colors, and the page helps you learn. So I asked, have you been trying to learn new ways or techniques or just expand, the understanding that you have of tarot and what you're doing now? And you said, oh, yeah, of course, which most business people and educated people would do.
Yeah,
so it doesn't surprise
me.
Yeah, but they kind of have commissioned him to learn with you because it not only teaches him, but it helps teach you because it's easier to learn things with someone else in a passive manner or just someone that is like supporting you to learn things than anything else because he's supporting you because he also has to learn himself.
Right.
So, yeah. The way I paralleled it was I told you I did a reading for a girl and she asked me to talk to her spirit guides. And she had like a whole little like menagerie of like 4 or 5 guys that help her. And she was in school for higher education. And she said, oh, I think my spirit guides, give me the information when I'm on my test, not necessarily that I do it. And I was like, I don't think so. And I understand why you're perceiving that way. What your spirit guides are actually doing is when you are studying for an exam, you are teaching them. And what is the best way to learn? By teaching others. So spiritually, you're teaching them, and it's showing up in your actual everyday life. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same, but different. I say that all the time because I think it's hilarious.
But you were also telling her that if she reads a specific book, I feel like that falls in between the page and the main spirit guide. Because the main spirit guide deals with language and the page spirit guide deals with learning things. So I think they'll work together.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's interesting because the main male spirit guide is the one that's in charge of the page. So it would make sense that they're cross-referencing or cross-communicating with you with books. And it wasn't even a specific book. I think that if you read books, like how M's one female spirit guide likes to connect the dots of like certain ideas, you'll be reading a book and it doesn't matter what it is, but all of a sudden you'll know or see a certain word that is outlined differently to you, and that is them communicating. And if you put those words together, it'll probably make a thought. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So give it a try.
All right.
Yeah, because my spirit guide, I have one that does physical things, and then I have the other one that, like Liv says, does the list making thing. So my main spirit guide does the physical thing, so he'll bring stuff up, and because he brings it up, I think about it, and then the other spirit guide processes it. And she does it, it's kind of like I have a folder of memories, so I know what's in the folder, but I don't see the memories, hear the memories, I just know that they're there. She'll bring that folder up and be like, this, whatever you're thinking about, goes with these memories. So I feel like that's something that might happen for you.
Yeah. I'm curious to try it out. I went through a phase that I read a bunch of books in 2019, and then I read a few last year, and then I was just like, I need a break.
I used to read lots of books as a child to deal with trauma.
So let's go into how tarot works for the people that may not know. So obviously we have cards. You want to go into like specifics of like meanings, or I don't know, how tarot works in general.
Yeah, so tarot is a divination tool, which basically means that it's a tool to connect with divine energy, but I also see it as a way to connect with yourself or like your higher self, because a lot of times tarot will come up with answers that you already know, and that's why it always resonates so well, is because like you know the answers deep down. You either just don't have the words for them, or they're not totally completed, or you just kind of have these feelings, and you you don't know what direction they're going in. And so the cards help kind of channel that into more clear messages. Not always. Sometimes it's still vague, but for the most part, it helps you to like get more clarity around basically what you already know.
So essentially how the cards work, or how Liv explains it to me, is you place your energy within the cards and the cards will read your energy. So if you're reading it for someone else, you are essentially pinpointing that energy and pushing it into the cards.
And it's not, when she says that too, it's not a, active force. It's more of like a passive energy. You don't necessarily, I mean, you kind of do you have to think about like what your question is, but it's not like you have to try super, super hard or think that you can't do it. Unless you're entirely closed off, then the energy's going to be messed up and your reading's not going to be good. But that's just for like skeptics maybe.
But yeah, so when you shuffle the cards, you're actually putting your energy into the cards. And I think you mostly do where they fall out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it when they fall out because I second guess if I pick them off the top. So I like it when they fall out because I know that they're really trying to come out. And sometimes I can feel like different cards that want to come out in the deck, but it's a little vague to me of which card it is exactly. Like I can pinpoint that it's in the middle, but what exactly in the middle?
Yeah, Liv actually goes through the deck and picks out cards she likes and puts them in the right orientation.
Sorry.
So then how do you get the meanings from your tarot?
So all the cards have different meanings, and I'm not going to go through all 78 of them upright and reversed. It's a lot.
Well, like, how do you do it, like, through spreads and, like, meanings of cards and things like that?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll use, like, a more organized spread that has a different question or a different intent with each card.
What is a spread?
So,
cream cheese.
A spread of cream cheese, please.
Spread of cream cheese. Spreads can be either more loose, like I usually pull them where I just have cards just kind of coming out, or they can be more organized where each card has a specific meaning or direction that it's talking about. And that can help you answer questions. Like one big one is called the Celtic cross spread, and that helps with life purpose and direction. But then you can do other ones that are like just 3 cards with past, present, and future, different cards to go with the moon signs, and I have a bunch of other spreads that I use with my oracle decks. But for the most part, I just kind of pull whatever amount of cards want to come out.
So how do you do it when you pull a whole bunch of cards out? Because I was watching her, and she just pulls, like, massive amounts of cards out. Like, half the deck she'll just have splayed out in front of her, and she reads it like she's reading another language.
Well, has that happened before? Because when she was reading me, the first deck that was explaining all of my treacherous issues and self-turmoil was literally giving her clumps of like 6 or 8 cards. Does that happen all the time?
Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes my decks will be quiet. Sometimes I'll get 1, but I usually get more than what I ask for. So it can be a lot of cards. And sometimes I'll get the sense or feeling or like telling that it's wrong, that they just kind of flipped over accidentally in my hands or fell out accidentally. But for the most part, like whatever falls out or flips over is what wants to come out. So that's really interesting. And then sometimes too, like the deck will get really quiet and then I know that it's done talking.
Yeah, so how do you read all of those cards that come out?
Yeah, so I try to go with like the first one, like one at a time, and I just kind of look at the energies, and I have a really good understanding of the cards, so that helps have that base. But then
what do you mean by energies?
So they all have like their own kind of vibe, and this goes into my clairsentience where I can just feel it. Like I see the card and I can feel something from it, and sometimes it'll feel differently for other people because I'm reading their energy. So I'm like channeling their energy into my body, and then it comes up with different stuff with each of the cards. And I just like channel and kind of open up that energy to tell me whatever messages it wants.
Wild.
Yeah.
So Em wants to try and do another reading, and we've just done so many readings today that I'm like, well, what are we going to do a reading on? Do you want to do a reading on my past life and see if she has anything to say?
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
I feel like you're saying that because she wants to know.
Oh, I think so too. She's just such a nice, happy person. If I could be like her, and she's like, duh, you were. Just to like see, who she is, what she did, and then maybe why she's here. So there's like a 3-card pull.
Okay.
So what does the first card mean that you pulled from the other deck that she didn't want to use anymore?
So the first card that came out is the Knave of Wands, which is also the Page. And that card talks about learning a lot of spiritual stuff, and is also like a very free-spirited, creative, happy energy, one that's just like kind of dancing in a field and, and just having a good time. And in this card, in this deck, it's this really medieval looking girl with this unicorn that has wings to it. So it's a Pegasus unicorn. And she just looks to me like very psychic, which typically is the Page of Cups. But this one is just really giving me like this grounded but very intelligent kind of energy. And then moving on to the next deck, we have I gotta look at these a little bit. There's a lot.
Take your time.
I'm running out of space too.
Liv, how does that first card relate to you?
Oh, for sure. If I'm going to have a past life, she's going to have to be a flower child like me. And
For sure.
I would 100% rather be dancing in a field of flowers, talking to trees, than being an actual human.
Yeah.
But we also struggle with the idea of being grounded and having actual responsibilities and doing things. And when this woman presents to me, she presents to me a very like maternal type of figure, like in her mid 40s, early 50s, probably like 42 to 47. So not necessarily old. So I think it's interesting that she's showing big M, tall M, a more free-spirited side of her, because that's not really what she usually shows me as much. But she is excited that we're pulling cards and she can't just like shuffle the deck and get it out.
Well, I feel like she can't show you her free-spirited because you need to kick an ass constantly.
Yeah. I feel like she's definitely like free-spirited. She's very excited. I can feel this. So the rest of these cards about her personality. So we start off with the Four of Wands, which talks about a stable home and like a stable home within, but it's reversed. So I can see that there's some sort of rockiness with feeling like at home with yourself, or like herself, like she was a little bit like trying to find herself for a while and didn't really feel safe being herself. And that definitely contributed to her not having a lot of money. She definitely was like out in the field, hugging trees and like this very free-spirited person, but didn't make a lot of money from that. And so there was like some tension around the material world with that. Looks like there was like something shifted in her life though with the Wheel of Fortune, and that the future shifted. It shifted for her to see a new perspective and really heal old pain. She was pretty fiery, like there's a lot of fire in these cards, but she didn't like to rush. Like she's very strong and not someone that wanted to just rush through life. Like she was very methodical and she liked to shift. She liked to make changes and do different things and heal people's emotions. She was very smart, very intelligent, had a lot of clarity. Like she had a lot of answers for things and really knew how smart she was and how much potential she had. Very, very bright spirit, very powerful. But I'm not sure how effective it was for her. Like there's some nod to like she had all of this, but it didn't always work out the way she hoped it would. Oh, I can feel myself getting tired.
Me too.
Like really drained all of a sudden. Yeah, some like disappointment.
I feel like some bad things happened, because you're showing like her childhood here, that there was issues and she didn't really quite fit in, and something happened. I feel like some community issue happened, and that spurred her to try to help people because she saw the destruction that was happening within the community, possibly, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it was definitely something like a painful experience, like it hurt her heart, whatever shifted and happened. But I think she figured out how to heal from it and how to help other people heal from it and like really understand emotions better and understand people. But I think it took a bit of a toll on her energetically to really like channel all of that, even though she was very strong.
I feel pain over my left shoulder. Does that make sense to you?
I'm not getting that.
No?
I mean, my ear is bothering me, so that's why I know she's here, but not necessarily the information she can give, which is why I wanted to do tarot reading.
Yeah, got
because I can't read myself.
But she did talk to you.
Oh, yeah, she definitely was like, let's read my tarot cards, because you were asking about what we should do for the podcast, so she was like, read me. Can we try using your other pretty deck, the high frequency one, to answer like why is she here or what she wants?
Yeah, we can do that next.
So a whole bunch of cards just came out. So what are these for? Like, what is this about her? Is this about why she's here? That type of thing?
Yeah, I wanted to ask why she's here and why she's hanging around. Like, what is she supposed to do for me or whatever?
So we got a lot of cards in reverse. Of course, so she's showing some blockages to things, but there's also some positives, even with the blockages. So there's like I'm really seeing we have the Lovers reverse, and that's what we're laughing about, and that's like a need for independence and like finding yourself. It can also talk about lacking in self-care, and that you really need to focus on yourself and like do a lot of stuff for yourself, and be more independent, be more selfish, and stop like putting all of your energy into people around you, especially relationships with other people, and like get back into alignment with yourself, for yourself. And then we also have a blockage to new beginnings, and also this kind of almost naive energy towards life of not seeing the truth or the full picture. There's something that's like blockages to what's going on and blockages to starting new things due to fear. But what's really interesting is then we have this worry about being pulled in the wrong direction, and at the same time this freedom and teaching how to be free of fear and be free of past things that have held you back. This like very independent type energy to stand up for yourself and stand strong, and so many words just came through. Your powers, your beliefs, which makes sense because then we have the Magician card underneath that one, which was the Devil reversed, and the Magician is very much about empowerment. It's a really powerful card. It's really cool. It's my favorite, and it's this very grounded but powerful feminine energy that believes in herself. But what's interesting is the Strength card is reversed next to it. So there's these insecurities and this disbelief and strength. And so this past life is really showing her own strength and trying to help you find yours, because she was so strong from her challenging life, of helping you to break free of old fears and see things more clearly, and really believe in yourself. Also to develop more of your powers and really step into your power as well, but not in a manipulative way, but in a way that's like standing up for yourself and what you can do, and being really assertive, like taking your power back over people and circumstances that felt like they been taken away from you.
Owning it.
Yeah.
She literally, when you were halfway through this and you got to the Strength and the Magician, she like put her hand on my shoulder and she's like, we're going to get through this together.
Aww.
So that's kind of cute because she hasn't talked to me this much before, besides the first time I met her. So I think that's obviously her saying, like, I'm here to stay, at least for right now. That's so cool.
Yeah, so that's what we got for her. And back of the deck, it's death. So some sort of transformation that she's sparking in you.
Wild.
So do you want to talk about how she came in?
I just got a ringing in my ears. Okay. All right.
Yeah, she has a lot of energy. And
Yeah.
she's changing her energy. It went from happy to, like...
Say it over again.
She has a lot of energy. She went from, like, happy, like, I'm excited to do the reading. This is super cool. Almost, like, childlike happiness.
Yeah.
To not necessarily, like, glum or gloomy, but just, like, this is what happened. Like, a very, like, down-to-earth reality almost type check when we
Yeah.
were talking about her.
I felt like intense sorrow, but intense love at the same time.
Yeah, it was very somber. Like she settled a little bit, which helped me get a little more clear messages. But yeah, I think she was very much full of love and still is in the spirit world, but definitely did not have an easy life, especially in the beginning.
Yes. And then the last part of the reading about how she's supposed to help me, she kind of turned into, like, that more motherly thing that I know of, like, energy-wise.
Yeah,
Like guidance type thing.
very much on guidance of things I think that she learned that she's helping you to learn now.
Mm-hmm. And when I say guidance, it's not like her leading me. It's almost as if we're stepping off together.
Mm-hmm. It's like this supportive energy.
Yes. It's so cute.
It's really cute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how did I meet her? Em and I started our business, obviously, you all know. And I was driving in the car one day, just kind of like thanking Spirit and my spirit guides for being helpful in the readings that I had been getting and being able to help others and listen to them and their spirits and souls that have passed. And all of a sudden, I was thinking about how Em likes to say shit my medium friend says, because there's some things that we talk about now that we have a metaphysical channel that I've just kind of always done. And she's like, that's not normal. Like, nobody knows this.
Yeah, like she assumes that people, like, things, weird metaphysical things happen to everyone, but that doesn't happen to everyone. And it's just been like a normal thing for her. So
I do the same. I think everybody else has deja vu and they dream the future.
It's because you have your great-great-grandmother.
Yeah.
During our reading, there was a woman that came in for Tall M, and she has a great-great-grandmother that she's associated with that, that associates with her in the spiritual things that she's doing, her tarot and her divination. And she has a lot of feminine power and divine energy within her family and the other women associated with her family, to the point that one of the relatives that she had, a great-grandfather, came in and was like, I'm so proud of my girls. And he was like very respectfully saying how much he adores you guys and how powerful he thinks you guys truly are.
Cute.
And it was cute because he was so nice about it.
Aww.
What was I talking about? Oh, Mice Guide.
yeah, how your past life came in.
Yeah, so I was thinking about how always says, oh, well, normal people don't know this. And I think, well, maybe it comes from like a past life. And she's also said that spirit guides can be past lives. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That's a whole bunch of bullshit. It's bull crap. Get out of here.
It's
Don't
like,
talk to me.
It's like your higher self. I don't know that it's necessarily your guide. It's more like you, but there's like little pieces of you everywhere because you're a complex being.
Some avatar shit.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was like, cartoons don't make sense. It's a cartoon. Anyways. All of a sudden, this woman came in. And if you don't know, I am extremely white and extremely not anything cool.
She's a daywalker ginger. If that's offensive to you, I'm sorry, but that's what she is.
In band, my freshman year, there was another ginger that played trumpet, and he would literally call me Gingervitis. You're welcome.
She doesn't have a soul because she is a ginger, so
I talk to souls instead. You're welcome.
it's to fill her empty shell of a ginger.
Sees dead people.
So I'm driving in my car thinking about all these things, and then this woman pops in, and she has like brown skin and brown hair, and it's long and it's straight, and she's wearing kind of like a I'm trying to, like, calico. I think calico is a type of fabric that was used in the old days. I know it sounds really weird, but I'm quite sure it's calico. Anyways, if I'm wrong, whatever. Look it up. Look it up while I'm rambling.
Okay. No.
Is calico a fabric? Because it's like a tan material that was very popular before the invention of industrial textile. Anyways, I'm not going to go on to one of my ADHD rants. So this woman stepped...
It is.
Yeah, you're welcome. So she's wearing like a calico dress, and it has like 3/4 sleeves, whatever. And I'm thinking about how I know these things. And she goes, oh, well, you know these things because you did this before.
And when she says she knows these things, she means her spiritual gifts.
Yeah, all of my metaphysical intuition thingies and stuff like that. And she's like, well, you've done this before. That's why you know it. And I was like, well, I've always felt like I've done this before, but, you know, how do you know? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, because in the time frame that you were born before, it wasn't as easily believable for a woman to do the things that you did. And it was harder for women to do the things that you did. So it was harder in general for life. But the reason you know these things is because you've studied them before. It was a part of your life. You were a healer. You were like a doula. You helped people, and you may have done psychic things as well. But I think it was more like healing is how I feel, like herbs and medicine and stuff like that. And I said, well, how do you know? Like, who are you? And she goes, well, I am you. And I was like, get out of here. So I ignored
Em
it.
was right. God dang it, Em.
So she's popped up in a reading probably 2 or 3 weeks after that happened with my OM reading. You guys can watch that on YouTube. And I think we talked about it on the podcast as well with Julie and her Celtic divination tools. But now we're talking about tarot with Tall M. And MM is...
I'm small M.
Small M. Small M's like, we have to do another tarot reading, which we all we did was tarot readings in both the YouTube videos that we did for Tall M's channel and our channel. So I was like, oh, I'm getting tired of doing tarot readings.
Everybody got a tarot reading.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And all of a sudden, my spirit guide kind of stepped forward, and she's like, I don't want to talk. I want to have a spirit reading. And I was like, this is weird. Let's just go for it. And that's, I guess, what she had to say. And she's all excited about it. Now she's excited again. She's really good at changing her energy.
Yeah.
I think she's really cool. I also think it's really cool that you just read a fucking past life.
Yeah.
Do you think that's cool?
Duh.
One time somebody was like, where should I move next? And somehow I got it to make sense and figured it out. I have no idea how I did that.
But you said you've read a past life before?
Yeah, I tried to read my own.
Did something come through?
A
That's
little
what I heard.
bit.
A little bit?
But I don't really remember it. I should have written it down. I do too many readings on myself to keep track sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just did someone else's past life.
Yeah.
Well, she's really excited about it. She says thanks.
You're welcome.
I want to know what her name is. You're good with words.
You hear things.
I know, and she gave me a name before, and it didn't make any sense, and now I'm getting like a J
Well,
name.
she hears things.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I'm not at the point where I can hear things.
Besides ringing, wee woo, wee woo.
Yeah, I literally think when I was reading those cards for you and I told you to read them for me, I think they put a ringing in my ear because they were like, you don't need to hear what she has to say. It's not important. You can do this.
Celine, maybe? I don't know.
Celine, the moon goddess.
Stop.
No, it's with a C.
Got you.
Interesting.
I don't
Why
know.
do you say that?
That was the only thing that came up in my head. I could feel J. It could be like her last name or a nickname or something. I don't know why I felt it in the back of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get anything else for her? I'm sorry, I'm going to push you.
Always pushing.
Because I think it's interesting that you're getting information from her, but you're not a medium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
I know, she's got a lot of energy.
She does have a lot of energy.
She's like, I'm happy, and then I'm sad, and then I'm your friend, and then I'm happy again. You're going to be really tired after today.
Yeah, I'm going to be so tired.
It's okay.
I don't know. I think her last name's in a different language, so I don't really understand. I think it's with a J. It's like J-O something, but I don't know the rest because I don't really understand what she's telling me.
Yeah, when she gave me a name, I honestly don't remember what it was, but it definitely was not English. So it makes sense that you're like, I don't know either, because
Yeah.
it's a different language.
Yeah, I think she spoke a different language, so I'm really having a hard time understanding. And it's not French, and that was the only language I know.
And she kind of thinks it's funny because, like, trying to explain a different language to somebody, she just is, like, very jovial.
She is. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? I'm so tired. I need to sleep. All I do is talk about sleeping in our podcast now. I'm tired.
Because you go to sleep at 11 and you wake up at 4.
Oh my God.
You need a house.
Gotta make money. Wow. So now that we've talked to my past life, we're gonna
Em's really excited because it's my turn.
Always. We also talked to Tall M's 2 past lives, and one
Yes.
was real swanky.
Oh my God.
When she started talking about them, Tall M,
Me.
Liv started getting things, like talking to them. So I'm like, I want that.
I think M was a medieval boy. Let's see what the cards have to say.
But let me tell you what I think is happening. Okay. So Liv and I keep thinking about doing like past life regression type things because I feel like my life, I feel like my life has been affected by it, which of course it has. But I feel like I am in a very privileged, or I am in a perceived privileged place in my life. So other people see me as very wealthy and very, I don't know, privileged in the sense that I shouldn't have depression and I shouldn't have anxiety or trauma or any of that. So it kind of invalidates me and thinks I don't understand why I should have trauma because my life is supposed to be so easy. So I'm thinking that my past life was the exact opposite of that. I'm thinking that I was oppressed by someone in the position that I'm in now. So I was oppressed by someone who was privileged. And I needed to come into this life so that I can see that those people who oppressed me also have a similar storyline. And I also feel like there might be some like male trauma because I have intense anxiety around men and I don't know where it comes from. I haven't had any like crazy masculine traumas in this life, but I feel like that comes from somewhere else.
You know what's really interesting? How you're saying that like you were oppressed by people of influence or wealth or power in the past, and that was me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was such a dick in my past lives.
That's kind of where I'm at now, but it's not like I don't think I'm oppressing other people.
No.
I think I'm too oppressed now to do that.
You're still working through your own shit.
Yeah, my childhood is just a big gray cloud. I don't know what happened during then.
Your medieval boy doesn't want to tell me a lot.
yeah, because he's really quiet.
He's very quiet. He has a very passive energy. It's kind of feminine.
And he doesn't like to speak, and when he speaks, he puts his head down and doesn't like to make eye contact. I think he worked for some sort of like affluent family, and somebody within the family, like one of the parents' children, got him in trouble. And it really followed him around for a long time.
I think there was a mean girl in the household that got him into trouble.
Oh, for sure. Probably. Some sort of, like the family that he worked for, one of their children got him in trouble.
Yeah, because she's giving me malicious vibes.
And he really thought that he was doing something good, and it wasn't. It really blew up for him.
Yeah, something was really imbalanced. He gave a lot more than he received.
What is the thing that happened?
I don't know.
You don't know?
We'll see what comes through.
Will you switch decks? I
Yeah.
don't think that's the deck. I can't tell you which deck, but that's not it.
He wanted to have fun, though. He wanted to be around people and have fun.
He was really awkward.
He's so awkward.
I mean,
it's
hello, my name's Emily. Have you guys met me?
he's just not super chatty.
He likes you, though.
Because I'm that.
Yeah.
Like he
I
can
talk into my chest so no one can hear me, and I mumble so that no one can hear my thoughts.
Yeah, he's super feminine.
He has very Peter Pan vibes.
That's cute.
Yeah. Tell me about yourself, sir.
What do I need to know from his past life?
Can you hold the deck out and fan it?
She's going to pick cards out.
I need you to split it in half, though, because it's a lot. He's like, He's like, can you do it for me?
Oh, that's so cute.
I need to use.
You want to sit where I'm at?
Is it making sense? I don't know what any of the tarot cards mean.
Kind of.
A little. He's just so timid.
Uh-huh. Sorry.
I know you need to be over here. You want me to hold them out for you so they're closer?
He might have a couple more, but he said start with those.
Okay. All right.
He's like really quiet.
He's so
Just
quiet.
give her the deck and she'll pull them out of there.
Oh, he's really cute.
He seems really sweet. He's very smart. He has a lot of answers. He just doesn't want to share them.
Yeah, when I was in preschool, basically when I went to kindergarten, I needed to like tell if I was like ready to be in kindergarten, and I just refused to talk to the people that were testing me. So they thought I was dumb.
I feel like people tried to push him
Push him in what way?
towards things he didn't want to do. Because he's not fiery. He's a very purple energy. It's calm. And there's this fire that, like, he's so resistant to the pushing. Like, they wanted him to be really pushy and very masculine, and he's very feminine. He's very, very feminine energy. Very leaned back and just wants to, like, relax. Yeah, something also was unstable, similar to Liv's.
I feel like he had problems with his mother. His mother wanted him to be different.
Yeah, more masculine. And there was two ways he could go and be what people wanted him to be, but he was like, that's not what I want to be, though. Like, that doesn't feel right. He was just like so soft. Maybe a little naive at times. Didn't really know if what the people pushing him to do was actually the right thing. Like, he was kind of conflicted over that. But I think he figured it out. He found happiness. He got something working together. Like, things calmed down and there was some new start. Maybe even a new relationship that came into his life in some way or form. It brought a lot of happiness. It wasn't easy in the beginning, but I think as it went, he figured it out. He figured out what made him happy. Yeah, it was doing things differently. Not doing what people said to do. Not being traditional. He was not very traditional in what he did. Kind of like forged his own path.
How does he affect this life?
I just asked him if he got a wife because I thought he was like showing me that he had a love interest or like a woman that really helped ground him and tell him everything was okay. I just pulled the lover's card.
Aww. That makes sense. That's the Ace of Cups that came in. She was a really bright spark in his life, and it was like this. Helped him relax, and like she helped him be who he was supposed to be.
She was just like his sunshine.
Yeah.
That's cute. Because you pulled the sun card. So that's relating to her.
Yeah.
But he did settle down. He might have had a few kids too. But he always presents to me as like a child, and then now he's like 21, but now he's showing me like in his 20s, like when he met his wife, he's showing me he's standing next to me in his 20s, which is he usually shows me himself as like a child, like preteen, like 12, 13. Now he's like 23, but he's showing me behind himself like how he grew older with this woman. It's so cute.
Aww, he sounds so cute. I think it was just a little rough in the beginning. Like, as a child, he was very misunderstood. I think there were a lot of mean women around him.
Yeah, his mom was not nice.
I feel like that's how my childhood is now. Like, I have a disdain for women because I feel like they're going to use, like, my vulnerability against me.
Yeah, like they're going to take from you.
Yeah, I have a weird thing with women, but I also have a weird thing with men.
That might be a different past life.
It is.
Why do you say that?
I feel like you were a woman, and it might be a past life that was after this man's past life.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
it was like one of your most previous.
That's why I came back as a man. And that's why I was a feminine man.
Oh, no, I think the one with the men issues came after.
Oh, after him.
There was a little bit triggering because I feel like with this more feminine man that you were like other men were kind of bothered by it. You know, it was like
Well,
in a time it was like you're not supposed to be in touch
You
with
have
your
to be
emotions.
a certain way.
Yeah, you got to be this big tough man, and he's like, I'm not going to be this big tough man.
I
But
don't
it
know
was
how to do
very,
that. I'm
it was
scared
very
of
quiet.
everything.
He was just like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like his mom.
He was creative too.
Yeah.
Like you. That's where you get your art.
Yeah, he sounds 100% like me.
Yeah.
Quiet, creative, and I don't know, like androgynous, but not.
Yeah, and needing somebody to like add more light into your life.
Yeah. So how does his life affect mine?
He's telling me that it doesn't. It's the time frame in which you were born that affects your life, not him.
Interesting.
That I'm born, or that he was born?
That you were born. He doesn't necessarily affect your life. The time frame in which you were born is affecting your life. So like the time frame in which he was born affected his life.
Mm. So I have a similar personality, but I'm going through a different timeline.
Yeah, and as a woman.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's showing me that when he was older, he kind of looked like the guy from Pinocchio, like the toy maker.
Interesting.
I don't know why he's showing me Pinocchio and the guy, but maybe that's what he looked like when he was older. That's cute. I'm going to use the closing words. All right, everybody. That means Em has to do an outro. You're processing past lives.
Yay, it's so much fun.
Ugh, your past lives were fun.
Mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were crazy.
Whatever past life literally sauntered up to me and blew in my face. You're welcome.
And a British man with chains who liked to
what?
party.
Are you just like now able to do past life stuff? Because that's weird.
What, me?
Yeah.
I think she needs me to like trigger it.
Yeah, I need people to
Okay.
be open to it. Again, the misconception of mediums or psychic mediums is that we just know everything all of a sudden out of nowhere and you don't have to say anything. No, it's 100% a conversation because
I've never seen you read a past life before.
I've never done a past life
It's
before.
so cool. It literally blows my mind.
So when you get a reading, you need to participate in the reading. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And sometimes I have spirits that don't like to participate in the reading either, or they had a religious affiliation when they were alive that they don't. Yeah, they don't believe in them, even though I'm literally standing right there and I'm like, I can see you. And they're like, I can see you too, but I don't care. You break my religious rules, so I'm not going to say shit.
But yeah, what Liv's saying, when you go to like a psychic or a medium reading, they're going to give you information that's like validating, and you need to participate in the sense of asking questions or leading the reading.
Because for me, at least, my gifts work like dominoes.
Yeah.
I got to push one of the dominoes down, and that's like the beginning of the conversation, and energy flows off from there as each domino falls with the more that we share. And like Tall M was talking about like past trauma and how she's a Scorpio and doesn't want people to read her tarot cards.
Yeah.
So she's like, you don't get to know
Scorpio
anything
rising.
about me.
I don't want you knowing.
Yeah, so I was like sitting there bebopping like around her with my little mental mediumness, and I was like, "Ooh, what can I find out about this?" And fucking nothing, except for a past boyfriend. But that's something that you're more open to sharing, so
Yeah.
that's something that I was able to see, but not the things that you don't want me to see. So if you aren't participating in the reading, it's not going to go very well. It's going to be really hard for me. So if you don't allow me to get the information, then it doesn't work. But you were allowing of your past lives to step forward and manipulate the cards that you were doing. So I was like, do you want to talk to me? And they're like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, so I see it as the cards are the participation, so it's kind of that feedback for Liv, so it helps her, I don't know, pinpoint or talk to that kind of energy.
I mean, ultimately, it doesn't help me. It just helps you.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, I still don't see how you're getting past life all of a sudden.
I don't know. And it's interesting because the past, like, we did TikTok lives yesterday, and now we're doing this today. And I've been seeing people more so. I mean, it's still in my mind's eye, but
I think it's because you're less scared of it.
Yeah.
of seeing people, oh, for sure.
Because before it
saw people
scared
with
you.
no
You were like,
faces.
oh my god, there's someone standing over there. It doesn't have a face.
Yeah, it's terrifying. That's fine, as long as you don't tell me how you died. Spirits
Yeah.
that are around.
I think you're more okay with it. And that's why all of your gifts are changing, because
Yeah.
you're doing it so often. So now it's like, oh, well, this is okay, and this is okay, and this is going to be the easiest way for you to get information, so that's why it's changing. But now it's confusing because it's
More.
it's like invalidating, not invalidating, but like crossfiring essentially. Like your side thing. That's changing, so you're like, I'm not sure which is which now because everything is different.
Oh, yeah, because I usually am able to differentiate what type of information I'm getting depending on what side of my body it comes in. So, like, right side is spirits and spirit guides. Left side is present and psychic abilities. And now it's all just messed up.
But now you have so much energy and they aren't choosing sides.
That's what I told you in the reading.
That I have so much energy and they're not choosing sides.
Yeah, and you got to open up to all of it so that way it's not so, like, all over the place.
Yeah, I just need to not go crazy, though.
Yeah.
I need to establish polite boundaries with spirit so that it doesn't consume my life.
Yeah, I just heard take baths. Cleanse the energies off of you.
I love water. I think for me, water is very spiritual in general. I'm very drawn to water.
It is spiritual.
It is.
Well, some people are like, oh, I love fire. And I'm like,
That's literally why Christians fucking cleanse their babies in that.
Right.
weird. I thought that was oil.
No.
It's water.
Holy water.
Water is cleansing. That's literally why we take baths in it.
Right. And you can, like, put love and intentions into the water you drink, too.
Can do that with everything, like food.
Yeah.
Because I love food. As Tall M finally found out today, I got real cranky when I was hungry. I was like, I can't do anything.
I don't want to.
I know you are, but what am I?
I got real pouty, real stompy. Thanks, McDonald's. Okay, we need an outro. I need to go to sleep.
This is the longest outro I've ever heard. Anyways, if you guys are interested in a reading, make sure to go to metapsyckicks.com to go to our service page and pull a psychic medium reading with Liv. But if you guys want a tarot reading, we will have a link in the description to go to Tall Emily or Emily Garrett Coaching. You're going to go to her link.
It's Bijou Signature.
Oh, yeah. Bijou Signature.
Bijou, but okay.
Bijou.
It's French.
Yeah, so we'll have her information if you guys want a tarot reading done by Emily. But while you guys wait, check out our YouTube videos. We have a video that we did on our channel and a video that we did on Emily's channel, which I think is just Emily Garrett. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what she's going to be. We'll have her in the description as well.
And I just need to say again that she's blown my mind and you've definitely given me the best reading I've ever had my entire life. And I've had a couple other readings by psychic mediums that have been doing this their entire life.
Oh my God.
You're a quarter of their age. And you blew my fucking mind. So please go get a tarot reading from Emily, and then come get a reading from me, and we can build on it like friends.
Like I've said, I've watched a lot of tarot readings, and you do them very differently. Because you read a lot of cards and you literally read them like it's a different language, like it's a book, like it's just written down.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I just have information.
Sometimes I just have information. I just know it.
I just know.
Yeah, I feel like you're very connected to spirit, where a lot of tarot readers are just reading the cards.
Yeah, they just memorize what the cards mean and just pull them. That's why I feel disconnected from a lot of tarot readers, too.
And I've said in every episode before this that you don't have to be a psychic or an intuitive to read tarot cards because your energy manipulates the cards or the person that you're reading's energy manipulates the cards, and you just have to at least have some basic understanding of the cards.
Yeah.
But you don't just read the cards. You don't even really look at the cards. No. You look through the cards.
Yeah.
So, again, you're definitely changing my perspective of how people can use tarot cards 100%.
Yeah.
So thanks for giving me a bit of a spiritual spanking.
You're welcome.
Unlike other people, you really are gifted. 100%.
Thank you.
At least that
so
I've
much.
seen.
So in our next podcast, we don't know what we're doing in our next podcast, right? I don't know how to end this.
Are we supposed to talk to trees? No, we're talking to trees before this one.
We are talking to the trees before. God, why did we do that one yet?
Don't tell me what to do.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in a reading, make sure to go into the link in the description below. Check out our readings. Check out our other social media. We're on YouTube. And we're on social media like TikTok, Instagram, all of those things. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
We are your Meta Psyckicks. Oh, wow.